For 6 months, I've been fighting these bastards, whether it's Tucker Carlson or whether it's Nick Fuentes. What do you mean we don't cancel people? We canceled David Duke. We canceled pornography on TV. We cancel stuff all the damn time. Hitler admirers, Stalin admirers, Jew haters, American haters, Churchill haters. You're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them. It's called the market system.
That was Mark Levin openly admitting that he would like to cancel and deplatform Israel critics like Tucker Carlson this past weekend at the Republican Jewish Coalition's Leadership Summit. There's more of this ongoing war within the Republican Party, where that came from. But first, Jank, what are your 2 cents here?
First of all, I appreciate the confession. We cancel people all the time. And here I am in the middle of doing cancel culture, which makes sense because Israel is the king of cancel culture. But he said we should cancel all Jew haters, whatever that means, and all America haters. So does that mean anyone criticizing America or its government? And does that include under Biden? These are important questions we got to suss out for what Mark Levin means. But as you're going to see here, the real question is, who's going to win this MAGA civil war? Because they're coming for Tucker, and I have a strong opinion on who's going to win.
Well, there were many speakers at the RJC summit who slammed Tucker Carlson, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Congressman Thomas Massie over their criticisms of Israel. Carlson's decision to platform Nick Fuentes also made him a target. In fact, Tucker was such a central theme of the weekend that attendees and even speakers carried these signs that read, "Tucker is not MAGA." Mark Levin harped on that allegation during his speech. Take a look.
You don't get to wrap your psychotic, mental, unhinged, Nazi, Klan, jihadist bullshit around American patriotism. You don't get to claim you're MAGA and America first when you're lining up with the Marxists and the Islamists and Hamas and the terrorists. That's not America first, that's sick.
Representative Randy Fine also declared that Tucker is not MAGA during his speech, in part because Tucker criticized Trump's decision to bomb Iran. Later in his speech, Mark Levin, who is literally a radio show host, mocked people like Tucker for thinking their podcasts and radio shows could make a difference in the world. Take a look.
These aren't powerful people. Seriously? These aren't intelligent people. These are lowlives that have platforms. And I just want the anti-American, anti-Israel, anti-West crowd to understand something. You're gonna have to come through me and millions of people just like me, and you're not gonna make it. You think your stupid little podcast, or your stupid little subscription program, or your little TV show, or maybe you have a little radio show, is gonna change the world like hell it is, not if I and everybody else have something to say about it.
Jake, that one got me because that's literally Mark Levin's entire career. It's radio shows, TV shows, subscriptions, all of it.
No, but I know exactly what he's referring to. He's saying we have mainstream media, and you have your little podcast and your little TV show and your subscription service. We do, by the way. Hit the join button below just to piss off Mark Levin. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, everyone else, tyt.com/join and say, this is for you, Mark. #suckit. Okay, so he's like, what? We bought CBS, we bought TikTok. Okay, we already had a CNN reporting through Jerusalem. Okay, they all have to clear their stories. We have the lady at Meta who confessed, we showed it to you last week. Yeah, we censor all the stories on behalf of Israel. And if you're gonna criticize Zionism, we're gonna cancel you from Meta. We have all the big players. Now here comes a little podcast. The average American. Well, you're not gonna make it. The powerful are gonna crush you. That's what he just said. It's amazing. And I love that little thing about, oh, like you're not smart. Mark, you think it's smart to announce publicly that you're canceling all Americans who would disagree with Israel? And that you're bragging about how you own all the major media and it's us little pipsqueaks, and that you're gonna crush us one by one with the mega powerful people on your side. He said, these aren't powerful people. Well, on that one, Mark, you're right. I'm not that powerful. Tucker by himself is not that powerful, or Dylan, or Rogan, or Theo Vaughn, or Andrew Schultz, or Charlemagne, or any of these guys. Dave Smith, Glenn Greenwald. We can go on and on. Crystal Ball. No, none of us by ourselves are that powerful. Rando on social media, who's fighting for America first, or any just sanity. American sovereignty. Wouldn't that be amazing for America to be free from sea to shining sea? Yeah, you're right. We're not at all powerful like you and your giant donors and the giant owners of these companies that are pro-Israel. But my guess is United were more powerful than you. And I know uniting is the hardest thing in the world. Why do you think Mark Levin and Daily Wire and all those guys start endless culture wars? To divide you. Why do you think they're constantly doing propaganda against Muslims and honestly about trans people and this? Where did all the trans stuff come from? Daily Wire, okay? So constantly putting out culture war stuff because they know we can't resist. The left and the right can't resist. Then we're at each other's throats and they're laughing their ass off. But now it appears, Jordan, that Mark is not laughing his ass off. All of a sudden, he's a little bit worried about our collective power. And they're starting to worry, oh my God, what if the left and the right unite on behalf of America? Then our Israel first agenda is in trouble. Well, Mark, you're goddamn right it is. And I love that it is. And I'm sick of you and your disgusting friends running our media, running our politics. Yeah, I'm saying it. And it's not Jewish Americans. It's pro-Israel radicals who think, screw this country. This country, I mean, the overwhelming majority of Jewish Americans love this country, love the opportunities, the hopes, the dreams, etc., that America has helped them realize. But a small group of pro-Israel radicals are like, no, everyone has to serve Israel, right? I mean, look at this nonsense garbage he puts out there. These people who are anti-America, anti-Israel, anti-West. No, you made that up. That's a propaganda point. America and Israel are two different countries. They obviously have different agendas, different priorities. And by you putting it in there and putting the West in there, guys, it's such an old trick. You know that, right? Like, oh, you have to give all of your money to Israel. You have to support all their wars. By the way, sometimes you have to fight their wars. And you have to make sure that they could do a genocide. You owe them. You owe them everything. Why? Because Israel is the West. Israel is America. No, Israel is not America. It's not the West, it's Israel. Any other country saying Turkey's the West, Turkey's America, France is America, France is the West. Like France is the West at least makes a tiny bit of modicum of sense, right? Israel being the West doesn't even make any sense. They're just making crap up. It's called Hasbara. It's propaganda that the Israelis have been doing here, honestly, for decade after decade, and they never got caught with nonsense talking points like Israel is a special ally. Whenever you ask them, what does that mean? Literally no one has an answer. Judeo-Christian heritage of the Bible and the Schofield thing and the blah, 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 and West, Magna Carta. What? No, the guys like Mark Levin have been controlling our government for a long, long time. But guys, America, I got great news for you. For the first time, they're worried that they are losing control. And I'm here for it. And I love it. And I love to see Mark Levin in a cold sweat panic. We're gonna cancel them all and their stupid podcast. And we're gonna get mainstream media to be back in charge. And they're gonna give me a show on Fox News even though no one likes me. And on the radio where no one can even listen to me. Because yes, Israel's gonna be in charge. Too bad, Mark, too bad. You're caught. We caught you. And now the rest of your life is going to be devolving into disdainful mediocrity. we're all gonna look at you as the pathetic mouthpiece for a foreign government who's trying to rob us blind. And we're gonna hate you for it. Mark, good news, we already hate you for it. But also good news, I'm on the left. Ultimately, I will protect everyone, okay? I don't want any violence, I don't want anything physical that will only destroy this movement. Do not help Mark Levin and the others. Never do anything physical and never make it about Jewish Americans. But for all the people who say that Israel is the equivalent of America and we need to all serve Israel if we love America, my ass we do. And I got a lot more where that came from, but give me more, Jordan.
Yeah, I think what's really happening here is they are threatened. The power centers, the establishment media, the pro-Israel media figures, they are worried about a democratized media landscape. And they can try to control what people watch. They could try to get shows canceled. But at the end of the day, there's going to be viewer backlash. All you're doing is showing that people have no reason to tune in to your show. So it's going to blow up in their face, and I can't wait for it. But one person who doesn't seem to recognize that is Ben Shapiro, who also got in on this campaign to take Tucker down. In fact, today he devoted his entire show to it, titled Tucker Carlson Sabotages America. He began it with an accurate characterization of Nick Fuentes as an anti-Semitic, sexist bigot, but then pivoted the bulk of his ire towards Carlson and what he called the fragmentation of the political right. Take a look.
That fragmentation is being caused purposefully by a splinter faction of people led by a young man named Nick Fuentes. And that splinter faction is now being facilitated and normalized within the mainstream Republican Party. The main agent in that normalization is Tucker Carlson, who is an intellectual coward, a dishonest interlocutor, and a terrible friend. And Tucker Carlson last week was aided, abetted, celebrated for normalizing Nazism within the Republican Party by the mainstay organization of the traditional right, the Heritage Foundation. But most of all, Tucker Carlson acts as an ideological launderer for other people's evils. Tucker Carlson says many inflammatory things, always buying back just enough of it to appear as though he's not saying what he's clearly saying. He'll ask a series of wildly obsequious questions to Nick Fuentes. He'll even let Nick Fuentes' support for Joseph Stalin slide. But he will grill Ted Cruz about the population of Iran.
You know, I'm curious what you think, Cenk, but you get a little bit more, but some points I think were valid there. But he says his concern that Tucker is ruining the Republican Party by laundering the ideas of hateful, undemocratic people. But he also made it clear that one of his biggest gripes is, unsurprisingly, Tucker and his guests' criticism of Israel. He condemned Tucker Carlson for having Israel critics like economist Jeffrey Sachs on. He falsely characterized guests like Sachs as pro-Hamas. He also said Tucker Carlson has spent more time talking about Jews and Israel since Charlie Kirk's death than about the trans-Tifa ideology that motivated Charlie Kirk's killer. What do you make of what Ben Shapiro had to say in that clip?
Yeah, so first of all, fair show in America. So I agree with you. Was Tucker tougher on Ted Cruz? Yeah, he was, okay. So fair is fair, right is right. Second of all, I loved that he destroyed Ted Cruz. But they are all like glossing over the fact that Tucker did make a defense of Jewish Americans and a case against anti-Semitism, and he made a Christian case against anti-Semitism. So you can say, hey, he's winking and nodding. Although it is a strange way to wink and nod by saying all good Christians would not be anti-Semitic. Is that a wink and a nod? That just feels like he just said the right thing. Okay, you could say, all right, but on other parts, he didn't challenge him enough. And all that World War II revisionism drives me crazy, right? So I got no need for that. I got no need for the anti-Semitism, etc. And they're counterproductive, I get it. But at the end of the day, okay, let's go to the core issue, because this isn't really about anti-Semitism. That's just a way they get to shut you up about Israel, right? If they, like, are they actually worried about anti-Semitism? I think real Jewish people are, right? And I think that they're told nonstop, the world hates you, the world hates you, they're all about to kill you, they're all about to kill you. Oh, that's it, they hate you, he said that they hate you, right? And I think it's really counterproductive, but I get it. And by the way, they were killed a lot throughout history, so I totally get it, right? But that's not why Tucker is going on the warpath. That's certainly not why we're going on the warpath. Why are people talking about Israel so much? Instead of trans-Tifa or whatever nonsense that Ben Shapiro made up a minute ago, right? Well, first of all, what did I tell you earlier in the show? What do they want to do? It reintroduced the culture wars. Remember, people hate trans people, hate each other through that war. That way you're divided and we can easily conquer you. And oh, by the way, Muslims, hating Muslims is a twofer, right? One, you get divided on that. And two, that way when we kill them, you go, oh, here's more money to kill them, Israel. Oh, I love when you hate Muslims. And what's hilarious is I saw his spiel about we're against all sorts of hate. We're against hate against white people and women and Hindus. And you wanna know the one group he didn't mention? Muslims. Because they're the ones who drive all the hatred towards Muslims, right? So he's like, please get back to being distracted. Here, squirrel. Hey, you can throw all the squirrels you want, Ben. Nobody's getting distracted. The reason why Israel's so important is I care about the genocide, and I think a lot of good moral people care about the genocide. And so many young Jewish Americans care so deeply about stopping the genocide. And if there's anything to worry about and to be animated by, it's a genocide in our time that we're paying for, right? But that's actually, at this point, the number 2 issue. The number 1 issue is American sovereignty, because people have woken up. You can't make them go back to sleep. They see that AIPAC and the Israeli lobby has contributed to 90% of Congress. And that 90% of Congress votes with Israel 100% of the time. 99 Israeli lobby. There's nothing you could do to undo that. We all know it now. And we see the mainstream media covering that up day in, day out, day in, day out. No. The Israeli lobby has no influence at all. 90% of Congress, they love Israel. They just happen to get millions of dollars, but that doesn't affect them at all. It's just their huge love for our special ally. And if you question that, you're an anti-Semite and your life should be ruined and you should never be allowed in media. When mainstream media does that now, we're like, bro, we know the trick, right? You know we're onto you, right? And they don't know it at all. They're just still sitting there going, cancel all Americans who dare to oppose Israel. Brother, it ain't gonna work. But I don't know, Jordan, maybe it will work. As I watched it, I thought, yeah, Mark and his friends have literally billions of dollars. The pro-Israel radicals have an unbelievable amount of money. So they could buy almost all the media companies. And then when you say, but you bought, like Larry Ellison, the biggest contributor to the IDF, he gives money to the IDF to murder Palestinians as charity. Like, oh, you haven't killed enough Arabs and Muslims there. Here, I will charitably give you money. And then he buys TikTok to make sure that he puts the Israeli censors into TikTok. And then they say, but you're not allowed to report that. But that's actually more control of the media. So no, this is the cat's out of the bag. And they're trying to desperately get that cat and kill it. But it ain't gonna work.
I think what Shapiro said, some of it resonated with me, that the way Tucker will or will not push back on different subjects, on different topics, is something that we should be concerned about. But you and I had this debate last week. If people are interested in how we feel about Tucker and Nick Fuentes and that conversation, you can go back on YouTube and look at it. But on this effort to control the media, I think it's going to backfire, because you can buy up outlets and you can buy up platforms, but new things will always emerge. They'll always pop up. You compared it to whack-a-mole earlier. It's a wasted effort, because you can't control audience behavior. That has been a frustrating point for the left on YouTube for years. Other than this network and the shows affiliated with it, there really hasn't been much. And you're starting to see things start to pop up, like Midas Touch, you have Brian Tyler Cohen, you have Jack Concherella. Now suddenly these people are popping up. But you can't control people as much as the Democrats want. No, go back to MSNBC. That's dying. The viewership is declining. The right is now experiencing the same problem. People are turning off Fox News, they're turning off OAN and Newsmax, and they're going more to independent creators that they feel like they can trust more. So what you're seeing is this kind of like last desperate attempt by people like Ben Shapiro, who has been funded by fracking billionaires for years, by Mark Levin, who's been associated with Fox News for years. No, stay with us, stay with the powerful, stay with the elite. You could trust us, do anything but turn to independent voices, independent creators. It's a problem throughout the media and creator landscape. It's not one that they're going to solve by shunning people that they disagree with. And I appreciate you pointing out the one thing that I think we all need to focus on here when they're saying, oh, stop paying attention to Israel. Remember trans people. Why isn't he talking about trans Tifa? All of those debates are there to distract you. And it's not just on this issue, it's on every issue. And Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire were created almost exclusively for that reason, because they don't want you to think about things like climate change, by the rigging of our economy, all of these things that are to your detriment, that the political elite, and especially the Republican Party, are responsible for. So what does the Daily Wire do? Movie reviews, trans investigations, demonizing minorities, immigrants. How many godforsaken Disney movie videos has that outlet put out on YouTube? Oh, the new Disney movie's woke. Oh my God, there's a same-sex couple in Buzz Lightyear. Oh, the Barbie movie's too woke. How does that affect your life? How does that affect your ability to pay your bills? And Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, all of those freaks on the Daily Wire will never talk about those issues in a way that is positive and impacts you, because they want you to be distracted and be distrustful of media outlets or marginalized communities in this country, because that's what their ultimate role is.
Yeah, last couple of things here. We got a poll up on TYT.com. Who is going to win the MAGA civil war? A, Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro, B, Tucker Carlson, okay? So look guys, I know some of the things that are gonna happen, but at the end of the day, I don't know who's gonna win. There's not enough evidence yet, okay? So here's what I mean by that. They say Tucker is not MAGA. This effort to paint Tucker Carlson as an Islamic radical, it's not gonna work, okay? The idea that Tucker Carlson's some secret Islamist or terrorist or Marxist is beyond preposterous, and no one's gonna believe that. In fact, they're kind of, again, overplaying their hands. The Hezbollah is so heavy, so over the top, that people are like, really? Tucker's a Marxist? That's your new talking point? Brother, go back to your old talking points. That's because this is getting dumber and dumber as we go, right? So no, I don't think they're gonna be able to cancel Tucker and Candace. And by the way, now, all the independent podcasters, they haven't even gotten to them yet. Wait till they get a load of Tim Dillon, okay? And then they're gonna try to cancel him, and they're gonna try to cancel Megyn Kelly and Charlie. Okay, so, and finally, yeah, but what happens when the elites that Mark Levin is referring to and the establishment with their billions of dollars and almost all of the politicians and almost all of the media come down like a ton of bricks on the rest of us? Well, they're in the middle of doing it now, so we're gonna find out. I don't know who wins at the end, the people or the elites, but this is the actual political, not physical, but this is the actual political civil war to end all other political civil wars of my lifetime. Because this isn't just about MAGA. This is about all of us, right, center, and left versus the elites. Honestly, this is the political war I've been waiting for 23 years while we've been doing the Young Turks. It's about time people realize almost all the politicians are crooks. And it's not just Israel. They serve big pharma, big oil, defense contractors, and every donor that buys our bought, corrupt politicians. Let's all get up, because we're gonna need all of us in order to defeat the Mark Levins of the world, okay? By the way, join the revolution. 8 o'clock Eastern, we're doing a show called The Revolution to teach people left, right, and center, and to do it together. We're crowdsourcing it, so we can show you how to get money out of politics. If we're united, we actually do have enough power to win. It's the uniting part that's hard. That's why they're constantly trying to divide us. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.